Happy Thanksgiving Week 2020. David in the Psalm 69 verse 30 writes this: I will praise the name of God with a song. I will magnify him in thanksgiving. As we approach Thanksgiving 2020, we would do well to remind ourselves that we need to choose wisely what we magnify. David said he would magnify God, and through doing that, he would give thanksgiving. So far this year, many things have been magnified. I fear that all too often we've magnified the wrong thing and we've left the better thing unmagnified. Piper reminds us there are two kinds of magnifying: microscope magnifying and telescope magnifying. The one makes small things look bigger than it really is. The other makes a big thing begin to look as big as it really is. We are not called to be microscopes or to make the wrong things look bigger. We are called to be telescopes, to make the big thing, the really big thing, God, begin to look as big as he really is. Christians are not called to be media moguls who magnify their product out of all proportions to reality. We're called always and in every circumstance to magnify God, and in so doing, that is our thanksgiving. The followers of Jesus knows there is nothing and nobody superior to God. And so the calling of those who love God is to make God's greatness begin to look as great and as magnificent as it really is. That's why we exist. That's why we were saved. Peter says in 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. The primary calling of the Christian can be summed up in this: feel, think, and act in such a way that will make God look as great as he really is. Be a telescope for the world of the infinite starry wealth of the glory of God. This is what it means for a Christian to magnify God. That's why we want to know more about God, to know more about God's nature, to know more of God's character and actions, so that we can magnify the Lord. And as David taught us, we magnify God when we begin to make that great God look as big as he really is. This Thanksgiving, don't forget to be a telescope, helping ourselves and others to see a good God as great as he is. Let us resist the temptation to be a microscope and make small things look bigger than they really are. Be a telescope and make this great God look as great as he is. And in so doing, you will be giving thanks to a God who has called us out of darkness into the marvelous light. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.